One of the most, if not the most important thing for fantasy football is the offensive line. And this video will show the top and bottom offensive line tiers and how it impacts their team's running back. I know you're interested, so stick around for 7 seconds. So these offensive line rankings came from K-On Fantasy Football. They're on Twitter and post a lot on Reddit. They do a lot of articles on fantasy football. I came across our offensive line rankings for 2025. And so what K-On Fantasy Football did was use the PFF grading and ranking system for each player for their position. And they basically combined the linemen's grades to get an overall offensive line grade. And they used stars for their own ranking system, with 5 being the best. Then they added factors like players' health, changes in the line during the offseason, and new offensive line coaches. And that's how K-On Fantasy Football came up with the 2025 rankings. The teams with the asterisks are teams with a potential rookie starting on the offensive line. The colors of the stars represent if the offensive line will potentially improve or decline in 2025. Green means improved, yellow means should be slightly worse, and red means on the decline. And that weird color, I think it's black, means potentially the O-line will stay the same. The image shows 2024 run and pass blocking rating, but today we will discuss run blocking and how running backs perform with the top or bottom tier offensive line. If this video does well, I can eventually do another video about pass blocking. I do want to mention offensive lineman grades are worse when their quarterback is a scrambler. So for example, like the Ravens, Bills, Commanders have a dual threat quarterback. So the offensive line grade takes a hit and is why they are in the B tier, when in reality, they belong in a higher tier. So let's take a look at these running backs behind these offensive lines, and we're going to start with Kyren Williams right now. So we have the Rams projected 10th in offensive line ranks, a 4.5 star run blocking grade. They earned 1.09 yards before contact, which is elite. They belong in the A tier. Their starting running back, Kyren Williams, was poor in yards after contact average with 2.72 and has a cautious 0.15 missed tackles forced per attempt. He is being drafted as RB12. He will literally make or break your league at that spot. His volume is his apple juice. First in snap share and second opportunity share, third in carries, and first in red zone touches. He isn't involved much in the passing game though, but he's 13th in 10 plus yard runs, but was 32nd in 15 plus yard runs, so he isn't explosive. He isn't great at creating yards either, as he was ranked 52nd in that category. He gets his value from volume and red zone touches, but second year in a row, Sean McVay has drafted a running back. It could be nothing, but if Williams loses his volume, he won't be a top 12 running back. The Lions squeeze into the top 10 as their offensive line is ranked 9th, a 4-star run blocking grade. They earned a 1.08 yards before contact, that's elite, and in the A tier. Their most valuable running back, Jahmyr Gibbs, has an elite yards after contact at 3.34 and a good missed tackles forced per attempt at 0.23. His current ADP is RB3. I have him as RB4 with Genty in front of him, but RB3 is just fine to me. And his ADP is fine with me because his breakaway runs are elite. First in runs over 15 yards. He is also involved in the passing game. He has 63 targets in 2024. His yards per touch is second at 6.4 yards. And is 8th in yards created per touch. Combined with outside ranked 15th in stuffed runs, his situation is mainly volume. If Montgomery is playing, he won't get as many opportunities as Genty, Robinson, or Barkley. Up next is the Falcons, ranked 8th, a 4.5 stars offensive line that earned a 1.17 yards before contact, which is elite and I think the highest on this list. They are in the A tier. The running back, Bijan Robinson, a 3.03 yards after contact and a 0.23 missed tackles forced per attempt, which are both good. With his size, I'm surprised his yards after contact isn't higher. And him going RB1 is okay. His stats are good, stacked with elite run blocking, but he would also get a lot of volume and breakaway runs. So he was 4th in carries and 4th in targets and 3rd in red zone carries with 10 goal line opportunities. He was 4th in 10 plus yard runs and top 10 in 15 plus yard runs. Only RJ Harvey and Bucky Irving have better stats stacked with their offensive line, but they will now be getting more opportunities than Bijan Robinson. So the 49ers offensive line is ranked 7th, a 4.5 stars for run blocking, and they earned a 1.05 yards before contact. That is elite. They are placed in the A tier. The running back, Christian McCaffrey, didn't play enough games last year to be ranked in yards after contact or missed tackles forced. But we know what he is capable of, and that is why his ADP is RB6. But I'm fading that all day. I have him at RB12, and that's on a good day. Some days I get frustrated with work and life, and when I get home, I drop his ass to a lower rank. But not today. Today, he is RB12 in my book. Not much to talk about. We know Christian McCaffrey can be an RB1 again, and his offensive line is one of the best, and he is in the best system. And after what happened last year with the lies and the betrayal and about his brittleness, Achilles, I don't have much trust in Christian McCaffrey at RB6. You are rolling the dice that he is perfectly healthy and ready to go at age 29. If he's healthy, he can win leagues next season. Ranking 6 is the Colts, and they're in the A tier. Colts offensive line has a 4.5 stars for their run blocking. They earned a 0.91 yards before contact. Good, but not great. Their star running back, Jonathan Taylor, had a poor yards after contact with 2.68 and a missed tackles forced per attempt at 0.11. You heard that right. I was shocked when I read these stats too. Currently at RB10, I have him priced higher than the market, but I will be lowering Taylor's ranks. A lot of his running metrics have declined since his 2021 season, but he still has his speed. He was 4th in 20-plus yard runs and tied for 2nd with 3 50-plus yard runs last season. He earns his value through volume, 1st in opportunity share and 2nd in snap share. There is a world where he is RB1 at the end of the season. We saw moments of it last year. Weeks 16 through 18, he averaged 30 points per game and averaged 31 carries. But not in the world that I live in. I'm dropping Taylor's rank. And surprise, the Bears offensive line will be projected in the S tier with the 5th rank. A 4.5 stars for their run blocking and earned a 1.91 yards before contact. That is good, but not great. DeAndre Swift averaged a poor 2.46 yards after contact and a cautious 0.15 missed tackles forced per attempt. The Bears have added a new coach, top-tier offensive lineman, and a new offensive line coach this offseason. They are projected to jump 12 spots from the 2024 overall rank. But ADP 24 for Swift is too high for me. Swift was 21st in points per game with bad running metrics, but had the volume. He was 10th in carries and 15th in targets, but was outside 30th in created yards per touch and lacked breakaway runs. He ranked 26th with 10-plus yard runs last season. He was also 6th in stuff runs. 19% of his runs ended before they even began. If I'm investing in Bears running backs this season, it's going to be Roschon Johnson at ADP running back 56. The Minnesota Vikings offensive line is ranked 4th with 4.5 stars for run blocking, earned a 0.96 yards before contact. That's not good, or that is good, but that's not great. But they are S tier. Aaron Jones averaged 3 yards after contact and 0.18 missed tackles forced per attempt, both marked as cautious. He was top 10 in carries, but did most of his damage in the passing game with 51 receptions. In rushing, he was 34th in yards created per touch and 18th in 10-plus yards run. His ADP is RB21, going before RJ Harvey, and I have issues with that. The RB I want to target from the Vikings is Jordan Mason. Jordan Mason had 2 less 10-plus yard runs than Aaron Jones, but played 9 fewer games. Jordan Mason earned a 3.35 yards after contact, which is elite, and 2.4 missed tackles forced per attempt, and are both significantly better than Aaron Jones. Next Gen Stats had rushing yards over expected per attempt for Jordan Mason as 3rd best at 1.38, while Aaron Jones was 0.17. Jordan Mason's PFF running grade is 76, while Aaron Jones is 75. At this point in their careers, Mason is the better runner and could do damage behind the elite offensive line of the Vikings. Next up, the Buccaneers at number 3. Projected 4 stars for run blocking and earned a 1.01 yards before contact. That is elite in the S tier. Bucky Irving averaged 4.03 yards after contact, which is 1st in the league, and 0.27 missed tackles forced per attempt, which is elite. His ADP is RB8. That's exactly where I have him, but I'm probably going to move him up to RB7 because of a running back that we have already discussed, Jonathan Taylor. I'm going to be moving him down. So for Bucky Irving, the first 5 games, Rachaad White was the alpha, but in week 6 and on, Irving was running back 8. I expect a full season with Irving as the alpha, and he will score more points for fantasy managers this year. He had 27 breakaway runs, which ranks 12th, and 29th in stuffed runs, which is really good. He isn't getting stuffed behind the line of scrimmage. He is an elite runner behind an elite offensive line, expected to get more opportunities, and with 47 receptions last year, he is involved in the receiving game. Irving should have another great year. Second is Denver Broncos offensive line, projected 4 stars for run blocking. I couldn't find their rushing yards before contact, but they were first in run blocking win rate last year. They are in the S tier. Their main character is a rookie from UCF, R.G. Harvey-Dent, the White Crusaders seeking justice in the Broncos backfield. A smaller back, but still averaging elite yards after contact and elite .33 missed tackles forced per attempt in college. His ADP is RB22, going in the 6th round, and it keeps dropping because of the signing of J.K. Dobbins. I believe they brought Dobbins in because of how bad the depth chart looks in Denver. You don't draft a 2nd-round stud just to replace him with J.K. Dobbins. You know what I mean? Payne's offense can handle 2 running backs. Reggie Bush, rookie year, was a top 10 RB, averaging 16 points a game. They also had Deuce McAllister that year, who averaged 14 points per game. Alvin Kamara's rookie year averaged 19 points a game, with Mark Ingram also averaging 17 points a game that year. Bush had 89 receptions for 742 yards his rookie year, and Kamara had 82 receptions for 826 yards his rookie year. So listen up, people. Harvey is the Joker, and even if he is sharing carries with Dobbins, he won't be sharing the receiving game. And Payton has mentioned he has looked good in camp and could be a 3-down back if needed. But, his coach speak on workload is 50%, so his 3-down back remarks can go either way. Eagles are projected to have the number one offensive line in 2025. The only team with projected 5 stars for run blocking. They earn a 1.0 yards before contact in the running game. Eagles are clearly in the S tier. Barkley is good at yards after contact with a 3.17, but a cautious .17 missed tackles forced per attempt, which I'm actually surprised at this because of him jumping over defenders' butt cheeks first and everything. I thought his missed tackles per attempt would be higher, and I'm completely fine with that. There is nothing but regression for Barkley, okay, for the next year, but his regression can still place him in the top 3 at the end of the year because of his offensive line and his talent with breakaway runs. Barkley had 7 rushing touchdowns of 60-plus yards in 2024, 4 in the regular season and 3 in the postseason. That's an NFL record. Fantasy Pros showed he had the most 40-yard and 20-yard runs out of all running backs last year. So he was first in breakaway runs and was 5th in dominator rating, 4th in yards created per touch, and 1st in carries. One of the elite runners in the NFL gets the most carries behind the best offensive line per PFF. I want to take a second, and if you're enjoying the information in this video, then please hit the subscribe and press the like. We have reached our goal of 2,000, and now we have a new goal of 2,500 before the season starts. Anything will help the channel, and we appreciate all of you zoners out there. We're even trying to do a Discord. I want to talk football all day, year-round, 365, so I created a Discord for community for other people who would like to talk about football. To pass around any type of stats or helpful advice if they need any, whatever. Hit up our Discord at the Fantasy Red Zone. It's just me, my wife, and my mother. I need more people to talk to. Thank you, zoners. We appreciate all you guys. Now we're done with the best projected offensive line for 2025. Now we got to talk about the worst offensive lines projected in 2025 and their running backs. And we're going to start with the Dolphins. The Dolphins' offensive line is projected 27, 2.5 stars run blocking grade. They earned a poor .73 yards before contact. They are in the D tier. Dolphins running back De'Von Achane had a bad rushing year in 2024, a cautious 2.91 yards after contact, and a cautious .15 missed tackles forced per attempt. That is a big drop off from .33 missed tackles forced per attempt in 2023. Achane's current ADP is RB5, exactly where I have him in my rankings. His involvement in the passing game is the new Alvin Kamara. But even though everything dropped in 2024 for Achane, he did gain more opportunities. But his breakaway runs dropped. only 7 runs at 20 plus yards, and he was 15th in 15 plus yard runs. He still has a top 10 yards created per touch, but was 5th in stuffed runs. He can only do so much behind that bad offensive line. Now he gets his volume in the passing game. He was 2nd in target share, 1st in receiving yards or receptions. The Dolphins haven't shown me anything this offseason. They are moving away from the quick passes to Achane. And it only gets worse from here. The Steelers' offensive line is projected 28th. 3-star grade for run blocking. Steelers earned a poor 0.70 yards before contact. They are in the D tier as well. Projected starter running back Jaylen Warren had a good 3.21 yards after contact average and an elite in missed tackles forced per attempt at 0.25. Warren has always been elite in this metrics his entire career. His ADP is RB30. He is in the range of league winners. I feel Warren has been the better runner for the Steelers the last 3 years, but isn't getting opportunities. He started the season with a hamstring injury, then in week 4 had a knee injury that kept him out even more games. Warren received only 120 carries last season, but was still capable of 9th in created yards per touch. Now they drafted a new Najee Harris from Iowa, Caleb Johnson. And I'm not sure what to expect from Warren this year, especially if they throw more than run the ball with Aaron Rodgers on the team. The Patriots are ranked 29th, a 1-star grade for run blocking. They earned a poor 0.58 yards before contact. They are in the D tier even after all the changes this offseason. Their running back, Ramondre Stevenson, had a 2.9 yards after contact and a 1.9 missed tackles forced per attempt, both considered cautious. His ADP is running back 37. That's 11 picks after rookie Travion Henderson. Nothing good came from Stevenson's running metrics last year. He was 11th in Dominator rating, though, if that helps anybody out there. And I'm sure he'll give that up to Henderson as well. The Patriots offensive line isn't projected to do better than last year, so I think the player to have is Henderson because he is more explosive and he is great at receiving. So let's just forget about the Patriots. Enough said. Let's move on to the next team, the Texans. The Texans ranked 30th, a 1-star grade for run blocking. The Texans earned a poor 0.58 yards before contact. They belong in the D tier as well. Their running back, Joe Mixon, had a 2.9 yards after contact and a 1.5 missed tackles forced per attempt, both marked as cautious. His ADP is running back 17, and I would expect that to be lower, actually, after the Nick Chubb signing. Mixon has never had the best running metrics in his career, but he's always had the volume. Mixon was 13th in carries and missed 3 games. He was also 15th in targets, but was 2nd in stuffed runs, so a lot of fantasy points were missed. Even behind the bad offensive line, he still managed to be 14th in 10-plus yard runs. Now, I'm worried with the signing of Nick Chubb and drafting Woody Marks, USC, because he might lose some snaps, and if his volume drops, then he's not going to put up as much fantasy points as he normally would. So the Giants' offensive line is projected to be 31st of 2025. The Giants have a 2-star run blocking grade. They earned a 0.87 yards before contact, which is actually good. They are the first team in the F tier. Giants running back Tyrone Tracy Jr. had a poor 2.84 yards after contact and a cautious 0.17 missed tackles forced per attempt. His ADP is running back 31, which is a fine place for him. I might wait to get Cam Scadaboo a little bit later, but Tracy in the 8th round is okay. Tracy's running metrics are mostly outside running back 25, but his breakaway runs of 15-plus yards was 15th overall. He has the speed if he could get through the offensive line or the defensive line. He was 13th in targets and 21st, though, in receptions because, he was also 4th in drops. So, yeah. He was also 32nd in red zone touches with only 4 goal line carries. This is not the running back you are looking for. And to wrap this up, the Bengals offensive line is projected to be 32nd. Bengals have a 1-star grade for run blocking. I couldn't find any yards before contact, but they were 30th in run blocking win rate, and they belong in the F tier, right? The Bengals running back Chase Brown had a 3.08 yards after contact and a 0.20 missed tackles forced per attempt. Both are marked good. His ADP is RB9, and I have him at RB10 with Jonathan Taylor in front of him, but I will be moving Taylor outside top 10. This is simple. Brown is on the Bengals. I want everyone from the Bengals. Brown wasn't relevant until week 4, and he missed one game due to an injury. In 2025, I expect him to be more consistent as a starter for the full season. Bengals will be scoring a lot of touchdowns in the air, and Brown is a receiving back. 6th in targets and 5th in receptions. And because he was the only back, he had 10 goal line carries. And he was also 11th in red zone touches, which is great. He was 7th in 20-plus yard runs. He is capable of breaking big runs if the offensive line can show any improvements in 2025. Okay, that is it. Thank you for watching or listening. Now you'll have a better understanding of offensive line ranks and how it impacts the running backs' values. I'm done talking, but Tyler and I did a top 24 rankings on Friday. If you want to see where your favorite rookie landed, click right here. I'll talk to you in that video. Deuces.